As you know by now, Kanye West is standing for President of the United States of America, and there's an assumption that that's risible because he's an entertainer and Kanye West is a figure that we're aware of from pop culture. But let's face it, there's already an entertainer in the White House, and I don't mean that in a sort of cynical and condemning way. I mean someone with a huge public profile gleaned from reality television. And of course, you know, Schwarzenegger was governor of California and Ronald Reagan was president after an acting career. Have a look at this clip where when Donald Trump announced he was running for president, where I ridiculed the prospect along with most people. Hello, welcome to The Truths. Is Donald Trump actually going to become president? Of course he bloody well isn't. And now, who's laughing? Who is it that's laughing? I don't know. Now, Kanye West, there's and sort of spoken to loads of people, you might know about some of his policies. It's going to be called the birthday party. Adorable, because it's going to be like a birthday if he gets elected. He's running on some of these ideas. Anti-vaccine and suspicion of COVID-19 vaccine. It's interesting, isn't it? Because although a lot of people feel that stuff is outrageous and ludicrous and bad science, there are a lot of people that are very, very suspicious of the state and very, very suspicious of vaccines and injections. End police brutality, who can argue with that? End the death penalty. Clean up chemicals in deodorant and toothpaste. I use Tom's and Jason's. I use brands that are like a bloke's name, usually. That seems to resolve that for me. He's pro-life, anti-abortion because of his religious beliefs. A little more complexity there because, of course, of women's right to choose. We've got a fantastic video of me talking to Amanda Palmer on that subject. We'll put that up over the next few days. Hasn't done much research on taxes. Yeah, there'll be some complexity there because he is, after all, a billionaire with like an appetite for social justice. He loves China and says it's not the Chinese people's fault about the coronavirus. I mean, look, Kanye West is a genius in his field and obviously has a brilliant mind. Furthermore, can't rule out the possibility of people transitioning from one genre of public life to another. We've seen it happen again and again. A lot of people think it's a conspiracy to take votes away from the Democrats, which it undoubtedly will do. Although I've seen it framed as taking away black votes, which I always find, you know, kind of patronising, because I think I would vote for Kanye on the basis of, bloody hell, it's Kanye West. I've got a pair of your shoes. You know, but I suppose what it further reveals is the patent absurdity of the system. The very fact that Kanye West being president is no more absurd than Donald Trump or, in my opinion, Joe Biden. And I also think it reveals that the landscape of politics is sort of demonstrably lackluster and wanting not only colour, I don't mean pigment, I mean vivacity, vibrance, and vision and life. You know, like I've said many times that it seems unlikely that replacing the individuals within this system will make any meaningful difference. Although people passionately believe that Donald Trump's presidency is anathema and far worse than Barack Obama's, you know, soon, either in a few months or in a few years, we'll be able to look at the figures and see, well, what actually did change militarily in terms of police brutality, in terms of imprisonment, health and disease, you know, coronavirus and other anomalies aside. I suppose really what it makes me feel all in all is that there is a sort of a whizzing, giddy circus feel to public life at the moment, where Kanye West becoming president wouldn't be especially absurd in that context. And really, government and organisation of resources and organisation of society is a bureaucratic process that should be umbrellaed by a vision. Hey, I think we should have this kind of society that's fair and we can live in communities, and we should have democratic purchase and control our own resources, and we shouldn't have massive inequality, etc., etc. There does need to be a kind of vision, but ultimately it's about management. In terms of the vision that I believe in, you know that I believe it ought to be resourced from a spiritual sense, that we're all part of the same, whether it's from a scientific perspective or from a spiritual perspective, we're all part of one organism, whether you see that as an ethereal, essential, unknowable, conscious entity, or a practical, material, biochemical entity. Oneness. And if that oneness is true on the most fundamental level, then I suppose our systems ought reflect that oneness, both in individual liberty and freedom and collective freedom, which is difficult to engender when you have numerous competing communities and two political parties that are sort of basically interchange, making no significant difference to the lives of ordinary people. Anyway, in a way, it's like exciting, isn't it? Because all of this stuff is just entertainment now, somewhat detached from the horror, brutality, inequality, poverty, and suffering that is reality for many, many people.